What is going on, everybody? And welcome in to this wonderful Monday evening edition of the Football Smack Talk Show. I am your host, Ryan.
I'm Eric.
Welcome in, everybody. We have a lot to go over tonight. Obviously, the big news of the week, Hassan Reddick was traded. What up, Daniel? What's going on, buddy? So Hassan Reddick was traded. We heard the rumors for weeks. Is it Sweat? Is it Reddick? Somebody's got to go, and
Right.
they extended Sweat. So everyone thought, it's Hassan Reddick, obviously, and I don't know. I think there were a lot of people that were like, well, why? Like, why do they have to do this? They don't have to do this.
Right.
So, unfortunately, it looks like they found a trade partner in the New York Jets. It is a 2026, not 24, not this year, not next year, not 25. It's 26, third round conditional that could be a second should he play 67.5% of the snaps and get 10 sacks. So I think those things should be achievable.
Sure.
Should he be healthy? Listen, I get it. A lot of people are frustrated. And a lot of people feel like there's kind of a win now window. Jalen's cap number is gonna rise up, and you want to take advantage of that. And I think a lot of people are a little maybe confused as to why they felt like they needed to do this. And I don't necessarily know it's that, but I feel like they were willing to extend him at a certain amount.
Mm-hmm.
Hassan Reddick, I guess, didn't feel like that was worth it. And I feel like there was a potential for a holdout this year.
Yeah.
So obviously, with the holdout looming, a lot of money in the books, and considering his contract's over after the end of this upcoming year, I feel like they were like, well, listen, we need to get something.
Right.
And I guess they were able to get that second that they were looking for, essentially pushed back from the New York Jets.
Yeah, it's curious. I mean, now, we have to wait two full seasons, 3 drafts before we get any payoff from this move. Which, look, we as a society are an immediate gratification society, and this is going to take a while to get that gratification. So I do understand the frustration from some fans. Look, I'm assuming the Eagles would have explored all options.
Yeah.
And this had to have been the best deal that they get. Because I'm sure, like, if they called and asked teams about wanting to trade for him, they probably said, yeah, whatever, dude, you're going to release him in 2 weeks, so you'll take what we give you.
And yeah, I mean, there certainly is that aspect of it, but I don't think he was ever going to be released. But again, maybe that was the threat. Maybe that was the kind of.
But I mean, you look at the logic of the situation. They just re-upped on Josh Sweat. They had signed Huff, so you knew, like, most likely, as far as were they gonna keep all 3? That wasn't very likely. And
well, yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, you don't sign somebody $17-ish million to not be a starter. So I get that.
So I think that like most teams probably would have seen that and said, "We'll call your bluff," and we know you're not paying Huff that kind of money to sit on the bench. We know you're not paying Reddick or Sweat to sit on the bench. So you're going to move on from somebody, and we know it's going to be Reddick. So we'll wait to see what you do. And so the Eagles, I guess, took what they considered their best offer.
Yeah, listen, essentially they kind of traded Hassan Reddick to the Jets for a conditional third and Bryce Huff.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And if you looked at it that way, I think fans wouldn't be as upset by it.
Maybe not. But again, it's hard to look at it that way considering we already had.
Yeah, because that's not really what happened. Yeah.
So, yeah, listen, I think and it's rough too because, hometown kid,
Sure.
Temple, whole 9 yards, like, loved playing here. Could have, I felt like he certainly could have been one of those that could have went down in history as a legend here.
Mhm.
He was off to a pretty good start his first 2 years, so, yeah, listen, it just sucks. You already
Yeah.
have a defense that needs a lot of help, and you know, you just kinda hurt it, but, again, it's, we'll see, but, yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
I still think, as far as making and shaping this defense, the event that's going to make and shape this defense is the draft at the end of this month.
Well, sure, for
And
sure.
and I think I would have made that prediction even before Friday.
Yeah, yeah, no, agreed, and it does certainly open up the possibility of grabbing, an edge if they would like, but yeah, I just, again, this defense needs so much that it's hard to
Oh
kind of
yeah. Yeah, and you don't like now creating a new hole. Like,
right.
and not that it was necessarily a hole, but like I was loving the idea of having the rotational edge pass rushers.
Yeah,
And now it's like, okay, so now we've got Sweat and we've got Huff instead of Sweat, Huff, and Reddick.
right. Yeah, so you again, I think Nolan Smith is certainly gonna need to step up if they
Sure.
don't add anybody, and, so I would assume that this is kind of their last big play for free agency
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the draft. And
yeah,
so I
so
agree with that.
when you kind of look at this team,
Mhm.
there's some obvious holes here, and, you have, somebody, like I said, you could go with an edge. It's certainly
Mhm.
something that is possible. You can certainly go, I mean, even D tackle.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I don't necessarily know if they're necessarily sold on Jordan Davis or the fact that you are also needing to replace Fletcher Cox's, you know, over 650 snaps.
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, so there's that possibility. Um, listen, stranger things have happened. They've signed Saquon, so why not, draft a linebacker? There's probably
Let's
two that
dispel all the old falsehoods of the Eagles. We don't sign, we don't sign big time franchise running backs, and we don't draft linebackers in the first round. Let's dispel both of them in one off season.
yeah, listen, I don't necessarily know there'd be anybody I'd be comfortable at 22, but it's say if they traded back, to like 29, 30, 31, that
Mhm.
range. Yeah, I wouldn't it still might be a little early, but I still think you go ahead and get your guy, whether, I would assume that'd be like Edgerrin Cooper.
Yeah.
Uh, that's certainly fine. You can also do the same thing and draft a safety like Newman,
Mhm.
or even, whatchamacallit? Why is his name Cooper DeJean? Who's
Mhm.
kind of a corner safety hybrid. He'll probably play safety in
Your
pros.
boy. Yeah.
Um, yeah. Um, so there's safety, there's linebacker. You could also go
Yeah.
corner. There's really a bunch of good corners. So like every
Mhm.
defensive position, I'm not going to necessarily put that off as far as not a possibility. I
Oh
get
yeah.
it.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
I'm sure somebody's gonna, comment real soon like, "Oh, they're not gonna take a linebacker. They're not gonna take this.
They
They're not."
haven't drafted one since 1979 in the first round. It's like, look, all it takes is one time. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Offensively, I think there's definitely less holes. There's,
Mhm.
there's a lot of need, but, to, maybe potentially make this team even better, you gotta figure out right guard.
Mhm.
Um, Jackson Powers Johnson is certainly would be available. He's a center from Oregon that can play guard, and is an absolute mauler. And I would love to have him on this team. Um, You also have to figure out what you're doing at wide receiver outside of Brown and Smith. You
Yeah.
signed a couple of guys, but they're just a couple of guys. Um, you need to get a wide receiver 3 in here. What about tight end 2? I know, traditionally
Is,
Philadelphia Eagles love a 12 personnel.
is
Uh,
this our weekly push for the JT Sanders?
I mean, listen, if JT Sanders is there at 50 and or
Oh yeah.
53,
Oh,
I'm a
absolutely.
Imma be flipping out if they don't take him.
I'm gonna be like, if I'm the Eagles, I'm running to the podium. Run, don't walk, man. Get there and get that pick in right away.
Well,
JT Sanders, tight end out of
funny.
Texas.
It's funny. There's a lot of, not a lot, but there's a small swell of noise for the Brock Bowers in the first round. He falls, and
He's
he
not falling past Indy, I don't think.
again, I wouldn't think, but again,
I mean,
we
look,
have
if he does, like, and I
we
mean,
have
if
seen
you're
some
there at
crazy.
that 18, 19, I'd love that idea of move up a couple spots and go get him.
What up, cute? Yeah, listen, Brock Bowers is a difference maker. He's a guy.
Sure.
He is somebody that again I think would enhance your offense, and you could kind of use him, throw him around, not necessarily need to have him at tight end per se.
Right.
So I would be down for that.
Imagine all the
Obviously,
different formations they could run out there. You could put him in the backfield and run some fancy little wheel route with him coming out of the backfield. Oh man, so many different things you could do with him.
yeah.
It's
Listen,
fantastic.
I have thought about many of what
Yeah,
Well, and even just getting a solid tight end too. Like
yeah.
again,
Oh yeah.
JT Sanders in the second round, or even if you wait until the fourth and maybe Ben Sinnott falls to you or
Mhm.
something like that. That can be a player in the league. They needed somebody. I mean, Jack Stoll, Calcaterra,
Oh,
they weren't
I'm
kind of
done with
doing.
that. I'm done with
Yeah.
those
Oh
two. I
yeah.
never want to see them again in life.
Agreed. And
Yeah.
hopefully we will never have to. But
In
yeah,
fact, if they
listen,
sign somewhere and like that team comes in here to play a game, I'm
it'll
contemplating selling my tickets to that game so I don't have to see them live.
wow. That's
Like,
dedication.
oh.
That's dedication. Um, listen, I'm not a fan of Stoll either, so I got it. But yeah,
And I was somebody who tried to defend Stoll a year ago and said,
you did. You
yeah.
100% did, you jerk.
And but dude, he proved me dead ass wrong. I can admit it. I'm here doing a mea culpa. My bad. They both suck. Get them the hell out of town. I never want to see them again.
There you go. But yeah, I just shudder to think of like
Yeah.
what you could do with a solid wide receiver 3, a solid tight end 2. And even if you go in
Can
4th
we get
round,
can we
5th
get
round,
Jalen a couple guys he can just trust? Like,
well,
we didn't
that
even like all that solid. Just can he trust them?
yeah, I mean, there's that, but listen, they need to kind of almost decide one. I almost feel like there's no way to do both, but
Right.
you need to decide to either let's have the super offense or let's rebuild this defense back up. And
Well,
if
look at the
you
Chiefs this past year. Like, or the last couple of years, they've had
yeah, they've
great
had a
offense. I mean, their defense, like they really quietly
ton of it
built that
bad.
defense
Yeah,
through the
they have
draft.
quiet. I mean, their
Yeah.
secondary more specifically, but yes,
Yeah.
again, you have the most solid position you have, you know, again, call it whatever you want, whether it be edge, you just traded away your best player. Whether it be D tackle, you have, potentially a generational player, but then you also have another first round that's out of shape and can't finish games and seeming to be on the bust, trajectory. Whether you say it's, corner, well, you have 2 guys that are, old as hell and
Yeah.
one rapidly declined. One, who knows when that's going to happen? Might be this year, might not be.
Yeah.
So,
One has already completely fallen off the cliff. One is approaching that cliff.
but yeah, exactly, potentially. Ryan checks in. What up, bud? How do you feel about the Eagles drafting Kool-Aid McKinstry, then moving Bradbury to safety? Bradbury's a zone coverage guy. Just my thoughts. Listen, I
I
don't
think you
mind.
misspelled cut,
Uh,
Bradbury.
I don't necessarily mind Kool-Aid. I feel like for me,
I wouldn't
he's
mind him in a trade back scenario if you could get
yeah.
cute with a trade back.
I
And
feel like
yeah.
he's for me maybe not a first round guy anymore, but I am about to update my big board, so we'll see where my thoughts go there. But listen, I mean, yes, would I rather Quinyon Mitchell? Would I rather have Terry and Arnold?
I was gonna say
Would I
those are
have
my 2 guys for the corners, yeah.
I
Quinyon
mean, yeah,
Mitchell, yeah,
obviously, yes,
yeah.
but, I don't necessarily think you necessarily need to move Bradbury over to safety. I just think you just need to not put him on such an island. And also, if you look
Yeah,
traditionally at Bradbury, it's every other year. It seems he has a bad year, he has a good year. He's a bad year, he has a good year. He's a bad year, he's a
that
good
means
year.
we're in for a good year, right?
Again, if you're going by the last, couple of years here, yeah, we should be on the upswing and have a good year. But uh,
Alright, let's roll.
I don't think they'll move him to safety. I don't necessarily think that's his route.
No.
Um, but again, you never know. There are, I guess, depending on how the draft falls and how this team looks. I mean,
And
let's
look,
say
even if in this
they don't.
scenario where you draft Kool-Aid, I would think he's still gotta compete with and beat out Bradbury in training camp. Like, you're not just handing him that spot and saying, "Okay, Bradbury, you're moving to safety."
Right,
Yeah.
yes, I mean, theoretically, you're absolutely right, but I think it'll probably be pretty clear and evident,
Mhm.
early on which side's gonna win that,
Yeah.
whether one way or the other, either Kool-Aid has it or he doesn't, you know? Um, but yeah, again, it maybe depends on what they do if they don't address the safety position. Maybe
Mhm.
it's just CJ, Gardner-Johnson, and maybe it's just Reed Blankenship. And to me, that's not enough.
No, that's definitely not enough.
Considering
I would
considering
agree with that.
Sidney Brown, is gonna be hurt, and God only
Yeah, I
knows.
was gonna say, is he even gonna be available before, like, Halloween?
Oh, well, I don't even know. I've
Yeah,
not heard an official timetable on
I
this,
haven't
so
either.
I have no idea, but nowadays, the way that players recover, it's really hard to kinda pinpoint.
You're right.
Traditionally would have been a completely out a year injury is not.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, as short as, what, like, 6, 7 years ago, that would have been, you
Yeah,
know
it was really Adrian Peterson that was kind of the first that I can
yeah,
remember that was, like, super healed from the
yeah,
ACL and came back and was like, "I am Iron Man, like, I feel nothing. I'm gonna just go ahead
yeah.
and run for
I'm
2,000."
numb from the waist down. I don't feel a thing, just runs
I
but
don't
still runs like a freight train.
Yeah, so, again, and again, I don't think that one way or the other, whether Bradbury moves or not, does that
Yeah.
really do anything, but listen, I'll take a corner. Um, you do need to kind
Yeah,
of
I think you could have inserted any corner's name there, and
yeah,
they'd
you
ask
could
the
have
same
you need to
question.
replace
Yeah.
Slay at some point.
Sure.
But again, I just feel like there are other more important positions. It's not in my top 3 of important needs, but, um, yeah, it's not one that I think every year I go into a draft and I say, "Alright, these are the 1, 2,
Mhm.
3 positions I would
These
love
are
for
my
them.
keynotes. Yeah.
Here's the 1 or 2 or 3 positions that I would absolutely burn this place to the ground if they drafted." Um,
Ooh.
yeah, oh, yeah. Burn it.
We could get a little Ryan smash moment.
Uh, Obviously, they're not drafting a quarterback.
No, no.
But
It seems silly to
I
even
have to at
look at.
least mention
Sure.
it.
Mhm.
Uh, Offensive tackle, and I think that's a real possibility that they do think about it,
Oh,
potentially do draft
well, I think
that
they
position.
will, and I can almost guarantee you they'll think about it. Whether or not
Oh,
they
I mean,
actually do it. Yeah,
just within their top 30 visits,
yeah.
they're obviously looking at some tackles, so, which really scares the shit out of me. Uh I'm just being brutally honest. And then I think running back, but again, there's not a running back
Yeah,
two teams.
they're not. Yeah, even
Personally.
if they
So
wanted to
it
take
would
a
be
running
it
back,
would be
there's
a combination of I'm mad that they just drafted a running back, but I'm also mad because there's not a first round
right
or
because they
or,
reach.
or second round
Nah, not
um,
really.
running back, in my opinion. So it's a super reach.
Like if they take a running back before Saturday, I'm going to be a little pissed.
Yeah, yeah,
Because if
yeah.
you look in the third round, it's like okay, you're
Listen,
reaching them.
well, yeah. I mean, we don't have a third round currently, but yes,
Oh yeah, so yeah,
well,
they'd have to trade into the third round.
right. But yeah, again, any other year, I'd be all for trying to get rid of Kenny friggin' Gainwell. Um, I don't. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I have a thing about backup Eagles running backs. I absolutely hate them
Yeah,
for the most part.
yeah, Kenny Gainwell, Wendell Smallwood.
Ugh.
Trying to think if there are any ones. Although I don't know, a lot of the backup running backs from like when we were kids, I really like. I liked Von Hebron like back in the day.
And if I could just only come through the camera here and smack the shit out of you.
Wait, you didn't like Von Hebron?
Come on, Von Hebron was just a guy.
I'm not saying like I went out and bought his jersey.
Like Kenyon Barner,
I mean,
hated that dude.
well, Kenyon Barner, like he basically stole a paycheck for 2 seasons.
You're 100% right, and I didn't like that he did it.
Yeah. I mean, the guy was basically living my dream. Get paid millions
Yeah,
of
get
dollars to
paid
do
to do
nothing.
as little as possible. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got it. Yeah, I don't know. I just I would love to get rid of Kenny Gainwell on this team.
sure.
Uh, I don't trust him. I don't want to see him in the red zone.
Ryan
Uh,
taking over as GM, calling up any NFL team. Would you like Kenny Gainwell? Well, what do you want? Just would you like Kenny Gainwell?
yeah, I will take a listen. You want to give me a case of beer? I think that's worth it.
Well, all I know is if you're getting a case of beer for Kenny Gainwell, I'm coming over. We're splitting that case, and we're getting shitty drunk that night.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay.
In fact, anybody's more than welcome to come over and celebrate Kenny Gainwell not being on the Philadelphia Eagles. Put that
If he
out.
gets cut, we have to have like a post-cut party or something.
I'm down for that for sure.
All right.
But yeah, I would love to not see him. But yeah, those are my kind of three that I would be very concerned
Mhm.
about picking in the first 2 rounds, personally.
Yeah.
Just given the fact that we have 2 picks and I feel like if we really do this right, we really can get 3 impactful starters
Right.
potentially onto this team in positions that we desperately need it. I mean, if you think about it, if you go with the super offense idea,
Hmm.
and you go ahead and you draft a Jackson Powers Johnson in the first round, boom, right guard for
Hmm.
the next 8 to 10.
Sure.
Um, Second round, you go ahead and get JT Sanders.
Yeah.
That's my boy. And
Yep.
you have him at tight end too. And then you get somebody like, I don't know, Xavier Leggett, wide receiver 3. And then he's a baller. And then you have basically filled the 3 holes that you have been needing to fill on your offense. And now you don't really have any weak points. You hope that Jurgens can make the transition to his more natural position of center. And anytime that he has, he's certainly been
Yeah.
very
I'm sure
good.
he'll be fine. Yeah.
And yeah, I like who they have at 4 and 5 of the wide receivers rather than what they've had over the last couple of years.
Hmm.
So I think that's an improvement. And again, JT Sanders over Stoll and Calcaterra. Give me that all upgrade all day.
Yes.
So listen, they definitely have a potential to get themselves, and even in that scenario, I would consider a wide receiver 3 and a tight end 2. Again, maybe you might not say that they're starters, but in my opinion, they're going to play enough to be starter quality.
Right. Yeah. If you're comparing the as
It's
far as
not
like
like
the
you're
percentage
drafting,
of snaps they see a
yeah,
game.
right.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
you're drafting, an offensive tackle, and he's going to sit behind Lane Johnson for a year or two. You would
Or
draft.
Lane Johnson's behind 3 years while he plays
Well,
out the
yeah,
rest of
you're
his
not right,
career.
exactly. But again, you draft a quality tight end.
Right.
You're not only drafting an eventual replacement for Dallas Goedert, but you're also able to play him as well. So like it's a win-win.
And
That's
here's
why
the funny
like
thing,
I don't mind
Dallas Goedert at the same age that Zach Ertz was
the
when we
same
drafted
exactly.
Dallas, and
Right.
when
Yeah.
and
Zach
then Zach Ertz was, and then Brent Selleck was that age when we drafted Zach Ertz. It would
Right.
make a lot of sense.
And what round was Dallas Goedert drafted in?
Second round. What round was Zach Ertz drafted in?
Second round. What round is JT Sanders going to become a Philadelphia Eagle?
Second round. Let's
That's right,
go.
baby. Let's go. I'll even hook them, baby. Let's
Oh,
go.
yes. Let's go. I knew I'd convert you. Let's go. Hook 'em horns.
Whatever. Hell to pit. But seriously, so there is an opportunity to build this offense into a machine, and if you truly believe that Kellen Moore has the ability to kind of re-unlock Jalen Hurts to previous year, not last year. Although he wasn't necessarily bad, you could tell it wasn't as crisp. And
it just wasn't the same.
He was overthinking, I think, a lot of things, and potentially that was the game plan, the offense. It was almost forcing him to overthink rather than just react. And what Kellen Moore can do with the running back potentially is amazing. I think Saquon is going to blow up. I think.
I agree. Yeah.
I would love to know off the top of the head what the Philadelphia Eagles rushing record for a season is.
Ooh, I don't know.
And who holds it?
I would think McCoy. I think he does.
I mean, I would also think McCoy, and you're right. And so my blind guess, I was 7 yards off.
Oh shoot!
What the record was?
What was your guess?
Well, why don't you guess what you think the record? Yards in a season, one season. It is shady. Confirm.
1,300. All right. 15? 17? 1650. 1654. 1627.
Jesus God. Okay. This is turned into the worst segment ever.
Yeah.
1607.
Okay.
So you did.
I was just going to start going down one.
I was like, Jesus, like, how are you not saying 1600? Oh God. So yeah, I'm going to predict that Saquon's going to break that record his first year with the Eagles.
Hey, I hope you're right. Let's go. Sign me the hell up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I just think the combination of this team, you have Saquon under this offensive coordinator, not on the MetLife turf anymore.
Yeah,
or at least minus 6 less games.
The one game that he's play there.
Or I'm sorry, 7 less games. You're right.
Yeah.
And you also are running him behind one of the better offensive lines. Even though we lost Kelsey, I still think we were that far ahead of whomever that we're still right there. And forget about if we go ahead and get a Jackson Powers Johnson, or listen, even if we want to go in the second round and get like Cooper Beebe, I'd be all for that too, because I think that's a mauler of a guy. And I think Cooper Beebe in here, you're not throwing a first round on it. You're grabbing him in the second. You could still get a talented guy in the first 2. You can go ahead and fix your right guard position for the next 8 to 10 and have a guy. And you can then have, once again, all the way down the line, best line in football. And Cooper Beebe easily does that with you.
Yeah.
You can get him in the second round along with getting, say JT Sanders or say
Mhm.
an Edgerrin Cooper and whomever you grabbed in the first round. Like again, this is a dude I think that's being slept on a little bit. And I just think him on this line would be great. I was kind of against the offensive line in general early in this
Sure,
process.
early in the process, yeah.
Um, and the more and more I dove in into some of these guys, the more and more I'm like, dude, right guard, let's go. I know it's like it's not a
Not
sexy
sexy,
pick,
yeah.
yeah, but like I don't care. Like this offensive line has been the bread and butter of this Philadelphia Eagles. Same with the defensive line. They
Sure.
address it, they nurture it, they have great coaches for it usually. And I don't see why they wouldn't be doing the same thing, which is why it scares me that they're bringing in so many offensive tackles to look at because I don't think we have the luxury this year, as we've had in past years, to
Mhm.
draft for future needs. You need to grab needs now because you have so many of them.
Yeah, look, I agree with you on that. That makes a lot of sense. Like you need like you mentioned already the needs that we have at the tight end 2 position, the wide receiver 3 position, the corner, the obviously the linebackers, the safeties, and now we created another need with an edge pass rusher. And and look, there's gonna be a contingent of people who still think they need to go get another defensive tackle.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So there's not a lot. There's not honestly. There's really not a lot of positions that I would be upset about, and even in general, like I'm okay with them grabbing a tackle if they want to go ahead and grab one in like you know the fourth round, the
Oh,
third,
sure, yeah,
fourth round, get some more depth, but
yeah. Whatever they want to do on Saturday, that day, yeah, knock your socks off.
do whatever you want. Rufus, and good
I'll be
afternoon,
going to a
boy.
wedding on that Saturday.
Oh, who the
I
hell's
know
gonna get married draft wedding weekend?
that's what I said.
Who
I,
who
I said
who is this person?
someone
You don't
told
have to
me.
name them. You don't have to name
No,
them, but like,
I don't even know their actually. It's one of Jody's friends.
dude,
Yeah.
that's weak. That's weak. That's
I
weak.
told her, I said, so I'm going to be there with my earbuds on, watching the draft at the wedding, and we're cool, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have yet to have that answer confirmed, probably because I haven't actually had that conversation with Jody. Because out of
Understandable.
fear,
You do like to be alive.
yes,
Um,
I do. I am a fan of being alive. Yeah.
yeah. So Rufus checks in. As I have said on every live so far, how he needs to bring me to Gene or Kool-Aid, and I may forgive him for Davis. Yeah, listen, like I said, and Ryan had said earlier,
Hmm.
um, yeah, but Kool-Aid's definitely a guy that I would not mind bringing in, and again Cooper as well. It's not necessarily a guy that I don't mind either, um, and I think he's athletic, he's talented. Um, I just again, I don't know. I just feel like I don't really know where he fits, and that necessarily isn't always a problem. Um, for sure, it's not. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'm leaning away from the corner as I was earlier. But again, it's in the realm of I'm all right with it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
obviously Rufus is all for grabbing himself a
Sure.
D-back in the first round. Awesome. That's great. I love when people are, want
Dialed in a certain
dialed
position.
in a certain position. That's great. Believe me, if there were actual first round talented or at least perceived first round
Mhm.
talented linebackers, like 4 or 5, I'd probably be talking about every single one of them,
Well, of course you would.
as I normally do. And
As it is, you're still talking about Edgerrin Cooper.
I'm
You're
in
talking
love.
about
I'm in love
Kool-Aid.
with second and third round guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I just got to do what I got to do. Unfortunately, so
I think you and
uh,
I are both like. I almost feel like I'm going to be more excited for Friday night at the draft than I am Thursday. I mean, Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be wired and jacked for Thursday night, but
Yes, as am I.
yeah.
But I agree with you. I feel like I have this year. I've fallen in love with more second round guys.
Like,
Maybe,
would you?
maybe
And I
because we
know
have
this
two
isn't going to be
picks.
popular. I know this isn't going to be popular, but would you even get mad at the idea of trading back out of the first round and acquiring a couple seconds to
Well,
stockpile? Maybe you get both Coop and Trot and JT.
well, I mean, listen, Trot is a third round guy, and
Mhm.
I think I would
Or
hate to
maybe a
even say
late two if you
I
if
hate to even say this,
mhm.
but I feel like I would be a little upset if Trotter was the first linebacker we drafted, based on who we currently have on
Well,
our.
sure.
Now, if you give me Edrin Cooper and Trot, hell yeah,
Yeah.
let's go. I'm all day. I'm gonna be doing the Sean Merriman
Lights
celebration.
out. Yeah.
Lights out, lights out, baby. Let's go. I would love that. Yes.
Yeah.
I think. Listen, I think if there's an opportunity to trade out of the first and into the second, you can get it first for next year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the scenario I'm kind of drawing up. Yeah.
Do that, and you get
Yeah.
yourself an early second.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and grab somebody, either somebody that's fallen or somebody that you know that's not going to be there at 50. You grab that guy, and then you have 50 and 53 to see who makes it there. And
Yeah.
you can go ahead and grab some guys. There are probably 10 dudes in the second round that I would. I Again, if I could do a backflip, I would do it.
Yeah.
But there are about 10 guys there that I would absolutely be ecstatic and jumping up and down. I'd probably be, you know,
Yeah. I do snow angels on a bar somewhere for some of
yeah,
these guys. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah. So let's. I would be 100% pretty cool with that, because think about it. If say in the first at 22 you get there and all the corners are gone. Let's just say
Mm-hmm.
uh, Jackson Powers is gone, the edges are gone, Cooper's jeans gone, and you're sitting there and you're like, well, shit. All there's left is tackles and, well, wide receivers, which again wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing, but I would assume that maybe like a
Mm-hmm.
Brian Thomas is probably the best you're going to get, which don't get me wrong, I'll take him for
Sure.
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 I'm just saying, like, I think value wise, I'd be like, maybe see if we can go to like 34, 35.
Right.
Trade back. That's enough of a trade back for sure to get a first and maybe more.
Oh yeah. I was just saying. I think you're
Our
lowballing
best
there, just
our
hoping
best
yeah.
bet is to have one of those quarterbacks fall,
Mm-hmm.
and us
Oh
be
yeah.
like, oh,
Like if a
hey,
JJ McCarthy starts to fall. Yeah.
something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to go and get your quarter? Give us first next year. Give us third this year, and then you take Edrin Cooper with one of those seconds, and then you take Trot with that third.
Yeah. You take JT Coop and then try in the yeah.
Beautiful. And then
Yep.
whoever else you want to grab,
Oh
that would
yeah.
be.
Like to me, if you come away with those three guys, like you won the draft in my mind.
I mean, you're not wrong. I would be so happy.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like linebacker is such a need that if you could come out of this with Trot being the second best linebacker that you grabbed, I think
Mm-hmm.
you had a pretty good day for linebackers anyway.
Oh yeah.
And it wouldn't necessarily be out of the realm of like, all right, yes, we signed Devin White. Yes, we have Nakobe Dean, but like, come on. Ben Summerlin?
Yeah.
Like,
Like now all of a sudden we'd have
can
depth
we
at that position.
all right, can we rely upon, everybody to stay healthy in that position? No. Nakobe
No.
Dean, unfortunately, there was a reason why you fell to the third. You're a little injury prone. And I hope that's not the case. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you.
Sure.
I hope you take that next step and show everybody what kind of linebacker you can be.
Yeah.
But as an insurance policy, what better insurance policy than Trent Jr.?
Yep.
So
No,
that would,
I 100% agree with you.
yeah, that would be quite the linebacker room. Dean, White, Coop, Trap. I would, yeah, I would
You know,
just
you know what you'd do. You know what you'd have to do.
get every one of their jerseys. What?
You'd have to turn off your PlayStation and go to bed, buddy.
Boom. Yeah, you're right. I do this to myself all the time where I go
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole of dreaming of linebackers. And listen, I'm not gonna be the type of person that is negative and defeatist.
You're right.
I'm gonna shoot for the stars, and when I, fall
Inevitably fall short.
I inevitably fall short, I'll still be in the moon. That's pretty good. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And then, obviously when I miss the moon and fall flat down to earth and they don't get a single linebacker, I'm probably, yeah, I'm probably gonna be crying live on air, bawling, just why every year. I mean, the fact of the matter is that I got so happy about Dean a couple of in the third round.
I
It meant just,
know.
how desperate we were. So
Yeah, and you were definitely first in line to get your N'Kobe Dean jersey.
I still have it. Still
Yep.
wear it on occasion. So we'll see. But
Well, hopefully he can give you a reason to wear it against him.
I really hope so. I'm rooting for the kid. Rooting for the
Yeah.
kid hard. So yeah. So listen, we will obviously keep you guys up to date. Should any major information, news, whatever comes to light over the next couple of weeks. But we are, as of Thursday. What's the date on Thursday? 1, 2, 3.
April, what's today? Is the first. So.
It would be 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 weeks. Yeah, Thursday is 3 weeks. Wow, that's
I know.
hard to fathom. Hard to fathom. But all right, let's go. That works. I will say though, I do need to figure out myself my schedule that week because I believe I have row. So
Okay.
figure it out. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I already took out Friday because why not?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yes, but also make sure you guys stay tuned to the Edge of Philly Sports. Best way, YouTube, subscribe, or on Facebook. Make sure you like and put on those automatic notifications so that way, anytime that we go live on the Edge of Philly Sports, you guys are right there. You know exactly what we're doing. Every post game, I'm pretty sure the Phils are about to start. If they haven't already started, they were a 6:40 start, right? So they started a few minutes ago, right? All right. Cool.
What's up?
Yeah. Wasn't paying attention, folks.
No, I was not. I was reading Roost's comment.
Okay. Well, I'll put it up. As much of a downer I am, I'll be happy with anyone other than Wiggins. Thanks for another awesome show. Yeah, I'm super low on Wiggins right now. I get that. So yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm kind of right there with you. There's a couple of second rounder guys, Rake Straw, TJ Tampa, that aren't terrible. Not saying aren't terrible, but I would absolutely enjoy having on our squad. So but yes, as I was saying before, Eric just was blindly not paying attention.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, please make sure that you put on those automatic notifications because after every Phillies, after every Sixers, after every Eagles, after every Flyers game, we do a post-game show, wrapping everything up, talking about the game, talking about the ins and the outs, along with our normal shows throughout the week. So please do yourself a favor and subscribe, put on those automatic notifications. I think there will be a Phillies post game later tonight. Also later tonight, at 9:00, there will be Party on Broad, which I will be a part of. So please check that out as well. And then throughout the rest of the week, we got shows Monday through Sunday. Honestly, there's something every day.
Yeah.
So please make sure that you do that. And also on the Philly Sports Alliance, officially that network, you can find that guy, Eric, on every Wednesday at around 5:00 for the Turning Heel podcast. Talking about WrestleMania as it is this weekend.
Yes, it is.
Look at me with some knowledge.
You. All right, what's the main event of night 2?
I don't know night wise, but it's The Rock versus Cody Rhodes.
So close. It's The Rock teaming with Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. That's night 1. Night 2 is Cody versus Roman for the undisputed Universal Championship.
I was going to say something about Roman Reigns. I knew he was somehow involved.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
He's been the champion for like a million days, and
the fact of the matter is that I was that close.
Yeah, no, that was really good. I was impressed. Yeah,
I feel like I need to get partial credit.
Sure.
But I assume you are still not going.
Yeah.
Eric. Of all the people
I know.
not go to WrestleMania, I would have thought you would have been guaranteed to go.
Look, as I was explaining to someone earlier, like I was, I had to prioritize. To me, the number one thing that I'll always strive for as far as, extra spending is always going to be the Eagles season tickets.
Go Birds.
I will always, whatever I need to, I will keep my Eagles season tickets. Like, if I have to, sell a kidney.
Sell a kidney. Wow.
Which, by the way, if you looked at my Google search,
by the way, if anybody needs a kidney,
I'm your guy. I am your guy.
I know a guy. Oh wow.
Boy, we're going off the rails.
Let's pray for Eric.
Yeah, that does. If you look to my Google search history, that would be among my Google search history. Nice. How much can you get on the black market for your kidney?
And what was the answer? About 10 grand, right?
Yeah, it was about 10 or 11 grand.
Yeah.
I'll take it out for free. Joey just said she'd take it out for free. But no, that's how much I get from somebody else.
For it, not to get it out. Yeah. The fact that I oddly knew how much that was should be a little scary.
That means we've both done our research.
Yeah. How much for Eric's kidney? Rufus checks in. You don't want to spend $1,200 to see Cody wrestle 7 times in 2 days.
No.
Fair point.
Fair
point. So what are you doing, Eric? What is it? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
So there's Friday night. There's SmackDown. That's going to be on Fox. That's just their regular weekly show, and that's in Philly. Saturday at noon, NXT has their show Stand and Deliver, which is like their big WrestleMania event. And that's on Peacock. That's at the Wells Fargo Center. Then at 6 o'clock is WrestleMania Night 1. And then at 6 o'clock on Sunday is WrestleMania Night 2. My plan is to, sorry.
God.
Yeah, my plan is I already told Jody. So I've got this World Cup big mug, and this thing is like it's a good size mug, and she hates it when I drink my rum and cokes from that mug because it's big and I just slurp them down and I'm like falling over drunk. And it's a great time, but
sounds like it.
But I already told her, I'm like, look, I'm not going to WrestleMania. I got to be able to drink from that glass this weekend.
Okay. Well, so are you? So you're ordering it on?
Well, no, it's on Peacock, so I don't have to order it. I'm sorry, she gives me the look. I already asked for permission. That's what happened.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
She just left.
We're gonna see a punch come through there. Well, cool. What am I feel
Yeah,
like I
so I'll be sitting there. I'll be watching it all. I'll be watching all the shows all Friday night, Saturday night,
gotcha.
Sunday.
Well,
It's off
good buddies
Monday, so I'm gonna watch Monday
good
Night Raw.
buddies yeah, good buddies are going
Yeah,
down.
yeah. Who ditched me, so I couldn't go with them.
Wait, how did they ditch you?
They just didn't say anything to me when they were buying the tickets, and I was just like,
Well,
they were
that's not
supposed to
really
know.
ditching, that's
They were
just
supposed to know that I wanted to get
not
in on
being
it, and I wanted to
not
buy
being
tickets with
I
them.
think that's more of just not being considerate rather
Yeah,
than
they just didn't include me. They
there
just
was
didn't.
somehow a plan prior to and saying, "Hey, guys, when they become on sale, like, let's all get tickets." Alright,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I did say something to a couple of the guys at the fantasy football draft. Now, granted, that was thanks to somebody, being really inconsiderate and getting COVID. We couldn't have it at a pool, you know, and so yeah, he knows who he is.
He knows who he is.
Yeah,
How dare you get COVID 3
yeah,
days before our pool draft?
yeah. Which I did love your fantasy football team name all year.
Yeah. We could have been swimming at the draft.
Yep.
Yeah, well, maybe next year. But anyway, we have rambled on
Yes.
for far too long.
Yeah.
Sorry, we tend to do that sometimes where we
Mhm.
just we forget that we're on a show and we just talk
And
like
there's supposed to be a structure to this
and there's
thing.
supposed to be structure and there's supposed to be talking points and we just go one at 1 point, 2 point, we go down the line. We do that often for anybody who watches our show.
Mhm.
So it's not really that surprising. Yeah, we forget sometimes we just talk like as if we were just on the phone and
Yeah.
just BSing.
Well,
So
that's part of our selling point is this is just us on the phone,
this is
only
just us
we're not
talking. I mean,
projecting out.
that our humble roots
Yeah.
a mere 15 years ago. Sorry.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, 15 years ago. That was our humble roots, Blog Talk Radio, where we would, from our landline, I know you young kids probably don't know what that is,
They don't even know what that is. Yeah.
right? We would call from our landlines into a number, and Blog Talk would do something, and we'd be hosting a show somehow. People would call in. It was really great. It was good times, and
Dude, I
mostly it
remember
was
so many
getting old.
times I would be sitting there. Not only I'd be sitting in my dad's old office, and I'd be on the computer, looking up stuff, anything we wanted to talk about, and I would have the landline, I would have the wired phone, and I'd be holding a wired phone up to my ear while
Oh,
we
I remember that
yeah.
wired phone. I
Yes.
remember that phone. David says, "What you gonna do when Eric Mania runs wild on you?"
That's right, brother.
Probably just punch him in the nuts. New tag team champs and top draft picks, Ryan and Eric. Notice how I went first, so I get first pick. Appreciate that, David. As always, I do love your comments, pal. Thank you. But yes, what was I saying? Yeah. So anyway, 15 years ago, we were
Yeah.
stupid enough to start this whole thing, and many different show iterations, names, whatever you want to call it. We are here now. We are today is our 300th and 311th
Jeez.
episode. So 311. We should have.
That's 312 more than I thought we'd ever do.
Yeah, we should have probably hired 311 to come to my house and play in the background. That would have been pretty cool. Um, or we could have figured it out how to play the 311th episode on March 11th. That would have been a
Oh,
lot
we
cooler.
could have done that. Yeah.
Done that. So apparently David will be at WrestleMania. Yeah, jerk. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the trade of Reddick. That might be
Okay.
a first.
Yeah.
Uh, 6 years younger, higher drive, and better scheme. Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's always nice to get youth in the team, and we
And
needed to
just
do
think
that.
whoever they get in 2 years will be, right now they're probably 19 years old. So it's a good trade-off.
Yeah, right. Well, and you hope by that point the Jets will suck because Rodgers will be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you never know. We'll see. We'll see. But Anyway, second round pick is gold. Yeah, listen, I
I
like it
agree
too.
with you. I hope it turns into that. Yeah.
Yeah, if it does, then yeah, I agree. It's not a bad trade at all. So, but all right. Well, we have been rambling at 7 o'clock. Eric's probably hungry,
Yeah.
and is probably going to get yelled at because dinner's on the table, and he needs to go or whatever. I don't know what. I don't know
Yeah,
what's
I'm
going.
about to get yelled at.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
no, I think she's watching some show. I'm sure we'd be fine.
Oh, so distraction. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, folks, we will see you guys next week. We are literally almost 3 weeks until the NFL draft. So we will keep going with draft content. Please make sure, speaking of draft content, Edge of Philly Sports, please make sure that you are on the YouTube channel. You're liking, you're following, you're subscribing. You're putting on that as automatic notifications. Same with Facebook, Twitter, all of that. You can find Edge of Philly Sports. You can also find us on Twitter or X, whatever, at Philly Sports PSA for me. And for Eric, sorry, I pointed the wrong way, at Eric Ward 1580. Eric tweets a lot.
Yeah.
No, not really. But anyway, we will see you guys next week. Stay tuned to the other shows. I'll be back on later tonight at 9 o'clock and tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Eric will be returning to Philly Sports Alliance on Wednesday at 5 o'clock for his new show, Turning Heel Podcast, which, shocking, is about wrestling. And they'll be talking about a little thing called WrestleMania.
Yeah, just a little show they do.
That's a little thing. So anyway, that's it for us. Eric, you have anything to add before we pop on out of here?
Nah.
All right, gotta love it. So for the Football Smack Talk show, I am Ryan.
I'm Eric. Happy football, everybody. Only 157 days to go.
Okay, that's not bad. We can do that.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great week.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.